Hi, it's Nick here, and I'd like to talk about um, how to lead and manage in an organisation engaged in lean thinking. I've got to this point because although quite often you'll get consultants and lean experts will talk about all the different lean systems and things you can put into place and how to do that. What they kind of don't tell you is actively how to manage them. Now, if you look at academics over time, they've found they've chunked down management styles into separate ones, and I think there's generally about 10, and they range from full autocratic all the way to laissez-faire. Autocratic being the one where they tell you exactly what to do, tell you what to think, and if they want your opinion, they'll give it to you. That's the autocratic style. And laissez-faire is you say, "Oh, here's our aim. Just go ahead and do it," and then we hope that they get there. Now, um, often what happens in the workplace is people excel in what they're doing, so they might be a good worker, and then we want to reward them in some way, so we promote them. We put them into a leadership position, so that generally starts as team leader, supervisor, then manager, ops manager, all the way through to CEO, if you like. Um, but if they've had no formal training, those people might not have inherent management skills, and what they'll do is they'll go on what experience they've received in the past. So if you're lucky, they've had a really good mentor manager in the past um, that's been very constructive with them, and then that's the sort of person you're going to get as a leader, whether it's supervisor, manager, etc., etc. However, if you've promoted someone who's a good worker into a supervisory position and they've been supervised by an absolute nightmare of a character who's very forceful, very shouty, and doesn't allow for free thoughts, that's the kind of supervisor you're going to get. Unfortunately, we don't actually know that until we put these people into positions of responsibility, and then it goes to the adage that what we kind of do is promote people to their highest point of incompetence, um, which is a shame. Now, that kind of happens in organisations that don't do lean thinking. They just it's almost like they're hoping for the best, and then they congratulate themselves when they promote someone who's good because they said, yeah, we spotted that in them. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Right, now, in reality, although we said there have been 10 styles of management or 10 styles of leadership, in reality it needs to be situational. Sometimes you've got to be fully autocratic, and especially if it's in an emergency situation, because usually if it's emergency, people kind of stop thinking and they panic. So you need someone to give some very specific direction with people, so people know what to do. Um, and then there's the whole range of collaborative type situation. I think you've got kids. Um, when you're bringing kids up, some of you may have kids, some of you may not. Some of you may be leaders, some may not. You may have experience, you may be sort of doing the best you can. But if you've got kids, you don't act the same way with them all of the time. It depends on what's happening. So sometimes you're trying to coach and nurture them, you're trying to get the best of them, you're trying to lead them safely through whatever it is they're going to, you're trying to get them to learn, you want them to learn. Sometimes you have to be quite autocratic in the way you deal with them, because sometimes children are absolute little nightmares. Um, be, be, because they've got raging hormones that's going on there, and they're growing, trying to find their way, they're trying to find their boundaries, all sorts of things like that. Now, you can have that at work. Sometimes I've been coaching people in the workplace. I said, if you apply child psychology to um, people at work, then you won't go far wrong. So we have to be thinking, right, situationally, what have we got to do to lead and manage these people? Especially if you're embarking on a lean transformation or something like that, because you're changing. There are a lot of things changing. So what we need to do is, as part of our situational management leadership, we need to have a framework around that. And I think this fits well. We need to have, as part of that framework, is a culture of no blame. Now, in our society, through media, judicial system, we are always when something goes wrong, we want to blame someone and then punish them. We want to see them punished to atone for their sins. Um, in business terms, what happens there if something goes wrong and someone gets into trouble for it? So there's a blame and punishment culture. Um, all you're going to get is workers, when something goes wrong, is they try to hide it because they don't want to lose their job. If you've got a no blame culture, something goes wrong, those workers will be going, hey, something's gone wrong. I've made a mistake. Now, often they might say I've made a mistake, but what we need to do in a lean thinking mode is to say, what in the system has allowed a mistake to happen? So we're not looking to blame a person, we're assuming the system is broken, therefore we can fix the system. So then, knock on from that is, the next part of the framework we need to have is to be supportive. Supportive of workers, supportive systems, the workers need support management, all that sort of kind of thing. And then the next part of the framework we need to have is to be a mindset of learning. We need to learn how to be better. We need to learn how to make the systems better. We need to learn how to work better. So that's what I think we need to have as part of our situational leadership, is to incorporate all that lot into it. And then we've mentioned leadership management. They're two edges to the same sword. Leadership is all about how you take the team forward. Management is about how we get that team to follow the procedures, policies and standards. So one is about changing things and putting new systems in place, and management is about following those new systems. Right, now, as we said, about promoting people to the highest form of incompetence, anybody in the business, from the owner all the way to the team leader, effectively the first sort of level of team leader, they need to be a coach and a mentor to those people that report to them. That makes that person responsible and accountable for those reports' performance overall. And then ultimately, that team leader will make those workers accountable for what they have to do in that time. So it goes from all levels of the organisation, is coaching and mentoring the ones that are following on to be better. Now, the accountability thing I mentioned, without having a blame culture, if you've got accountability, when something goes wrong, we know who to go and speak to. So we need to go and speak to them and say, okay, what went wrong? Why did it go wrong? And what are we going to do about it? And that's what that's for. The other side of accountability is when everything goes really well, we know who to go and speak to and say, great job, you've done an awesome thing, or whatever reward system that you're going to have in place. So one is to go and find out what went wrong, and the other one is to say, great job, you're doing awesome, keep it up. So therefore, what that will always lead to is leadership, management. The question they need to be asking to their reports is, how can I help you? And that's it. How can I help you? Because all we can do then is we are constantly learning to do new things. We're constantly learning how to help people through new things. And then we're also constantly learning how to work much more smarter. So if you do it that way, all the workers in your organisation will feel supported and confident because there's no blame, and that will connect them to the work and they own the work. And if they own it, they'll want it to be better. Okay, so I've also got a free ebook through my Rock the System Facebook page. It's free if you click on it and get that. That expands on what I spoke about then, gives you some more tips and guidance on how to be a great leader. So if you'd like that, feel free to go there and get that. Also, if you've got any comments to make on your experience leadership management, or how you've experienced leadership management in a lean environment, feel free to comment below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.